Hey, good morning, family. So, just out on my walk, continuing again. And I wanted to talk about an idea too. I have a lot of people that come across my channel, and I definitely, and I appreciate, the acknowledgement and stuff like that. But the idea of the truth, okay? And this again is I'll call it a religious notion because Christianity, when it came into existence, what it taught was that it was something that was new, something revelatory, and that they had the ultimate truth, okay? That no other system had the truth except them, okay? And this idea is a travesty, okay? Because it ended up promoting so much dogma that we deal with and have to live through today, and that ends up being so divisive, because as Christians, I just remember, being taught to shun people who didn't believe like we did. And I just remember going through, when I started to question Christianity, family members, cousins that I grew up with, stuff like that, that just, they stopped communicating with me, But it's all based on this idea that there is supposed to be this one ultimate truth that we're all supposed to agree on. And family, that's just not the case, okay? Even if you think about it, and I have to take this back to the ancient concepts and ideas in order to explain this. And one of these ideas is through the nature of Maat. And you will often hear people quote, Maat is truth, Maat is balance, Maat is reciprocity, Maat is justice, and stuff like that. But I like to go back, and I really go into depth in this in my course, Kemetic course, but I like to go back to that idea of truth, to understand this at a really a deeper level. And the way that you have to do this, you really have to understand, at this point, go back into the symbolism, because you won't get it just reading. But you have to understand Maat symbolically is feminine, okay? She is divine feminine. The ancients had a framework in which they set up these ideas for us, that when we couldn't read something, that we were able to look at the symbolism, and if you understood the framework of the symbolism, you could go deeper. The symbolism actually reached you at your level. But when you think about Maat as feminine, and the feminine actually means, and when we say divine feminine, it actually means our inner state, okay? This and divine means universal. So you can use universal and divine interchangeably. That was just the ancient term that's been translated for us. That means divine. But essentially it means universal, okay? And universal means that this feminine aspect is a part of men and women, okay? It's not a female per se. It's not about gender. It's about a symbolic representation. And the divine feminine, if you think about, this is connected to the idea of the womb, okay? And inside the womb, it's dark, Inside the womb, creations happen, children can be birthed, okay? But this womb can be a mental one as well, because our universe is a mental universe. But the main point here is that the divine feminine and Maat, when it says that it's truth, it means that our inner subjective experience is our truth, okay? So that means that sometimes we're going to perceive things differently than other people. And the way that we react to it is based on our truth or our interpretation of that event, okay? It has nothing to do with what we might individually agree on. And a lot of times what people will do is they will assume, and this is what Christianity did, is that they try to force an objective meaning. And when I say objective, I mean it's just that it's something that all of us agree on, okay? They tried to force an objective meaning of a lot of these ancient concepts when they were meant to really help us to connect to our own authentic and vibratory essence, okay? To find our truths. So that's the thing, is just to think that there is one ultimate truth, or that I'm expressing one ultimate truth, would be a misapplication of this knowledge. I'm explaining ideas that help you to go within to figure out your authentic truth, your authentic self, your authentic being, okay? It's not about me trying to force ideas on you or to make you believe like a religion that I have the ultimate truth about these ideas. No, I'm giving you frameworks and parameters, and to show you how we've been basically taught through Christianity to really disempower ourselves by trying to accept this idea of one ultimate truth. You know, that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light, you know? But if you understand Jesus as an archetype, Jesus simply means that it is an archetype for enlightenment. Jesus is the archetype for the light and will of God incarnated on earth. And that light brings wisdom, okay? It brings enlightenment. But that light is you. It's within you. It's a part of you, okay? It's not something external, or something that you need to simply believe in order to be saved. That's religious. If you really want to characterize the idea of Jesus, or one way you can characterize it, think of it as an aha moment. When I say an aha moment, you might have been going through some difficulties in your life. And this is how I know it, because I've been through some shit. But anyway, I ain't here to complain. It's just part of my journey, and it's been part of me learning. One of the reasons why I can teach these ideas and really get into the science is because I needed it. When life is kicking your butt, woo, I need some definite steps in order to really pull myself out of, a lot of times, depression. But anyway, so Jesus is the idea of an aha moment. So when you're going through something, all of a sudden the light bulb comes on, and you're like, oh, dang, now I get it. Now I get what that was trying to teach me, you know? In that moment, you went from Lazarus, being dead and unaware of what was going on in your life, to Jesus awakening you, okay? That archetypal awakening. That's what that story means, okay? Let's take another miracle of Jesus, okay? Walking on the water. And the story was that Jesus was in this storm, and he was walking on the water, and the disciples saw him, walking on the water. It was like they were amazed. But it's a symbolic meaning of the idea that water churning in the storm is your emotional storm that you might be going through. It's because when you're going through that storm, you're able to settle yourself and basically be at peace, even within the storm, you're able to walk on the water. Okay? So again, it's just an archetype. So that doesn't mean, so what I just explained is the idea that there can't be one truth, because we all go through different things. But our inner truth is the truth for us. So when we're going through our storms, it's something that we personally go through, but those ideas, whatever we're going through in the moment, it's our truth. Whether it be positive or negative, it's our truth, and it's what we're dealing with. Okay? So I again, I always appreciate, people saying thank you, for teaching the truth and stuff like that. And I understand where you're coming from with that. So again, it's appreciated. But I want to make clear that I am not stating that there is one ultimate truth. There are many roads that can lead to the same path. There's many paths that can lead to the same destination, and each one of them are valid. Okay, as long as it gets you there, each one of them is valid. Hell, even if it don't get you there, it's valid. It's just your experience. Okay. All right, family. Y'all have an amazing day, and I will talk to you another time. All right.